Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play OmegaRuby. I'm your host, PokeGamer. In the last episode, we dealt with the whole end of the world disaster thing with Primal Groudon. We caught it and all that other happy junk off screen. I did level it a bit. I also did do a few changes to its moves. Earth Power is something that it gets around level 15, and I retaught it that. And I also off screen removed Dive for Surf on Swampert because Linoon was our surfer. I'm going to have to be changing around moves quite a bit if I want to keep, the team as it is right now. Also, you notice that Groudon has Eruption in OmegaRuby and AlphaSapphire does not get this until level 60. So after leveling it up off screen, I traded it over to X and Y. In those games, it does get Eruption at level 50. So after I got it up to around level 55, I was able to trade it over to X and Y and relearn it. Now, as you can see, this is what the Eon Flute actually does. You are able to ride your Latios or Latios depending on your version. Obviously with OmegaRuby it is Latios, so you get to ride them around and actually fly different in a very different way to routes and towns. So this removes the need for Fly, and in the next few episodes you'll be seeing me remove Fly from Altaria. Now the reason why we're coming back to Mauville is something that I've brought up in the past. Eventually, at a certain point in the game, you will see Watson appear here in the middle of Mauville, and he'll mention New Mauville. To trigger this, you have to catch or defeat your version's, exclusive legendary, specifically being either Groudon or Kyogre, and of course in our case that was Groudon. So after we either battled and killed it or battled and caught it, we get to trigger this event. And once you talk to him in the middle of Mauville, he'll give you authorization to go to Mauville Hills, which is the area that we saw on the second floor, but we could never get to. As you can see, after getting out of the elevator, you saw the other side that we used to go on. So I mean, there's that. You can also see a bunch of apartments. There's also like little intercoms that you can talk to people with through them. And on your way, you really want to talk to this guy because, as you'll see, like this whole thing, he kind of talks with this one guy. He comes out and kind of says, "I'm sorry for not paying rent," or whatever. So they kind of go back inside to talk about like what the hell they're gonna do in order to cover payment. This is only something that's relevant because once we get done talking to Watson in here, you'll see. So you don't have to do that. He just responds to it if you want to or whatever. You can just walk into his house, it doesn't matter. Also, I'm not sure if you guys heard my phone. I think that the volume's still on, which I don't know. But yeah, so you come in here and you talk to him and he'll kind of help prep you to go into New Mauville. There's kind of like a retina thing, I guess. Like a face recognition type of thing. So he had to take a picture of us and had to register it so that we can get, actually get in. So yeah, and the funny part is I don't think this was a part of the originals or even like Emerald. You get to actually meet his wife, quote unquote. Now we're obviously going to hold off on doing the rest of Mauville Hills, except for this, of course. As you saw, he went inside with the other guy. He comes back out whenever you go into a room or whatever. Like, as long as you leave the area and then come back, he'll appear, and then you can get the Lopunite for, Mega Lopunny if you want it. So there's that. But like I was saying, we're going to hold off on the rest of, Mauville Hills for now, because we want to go to New Mauville and get something that's very important. Technically, we get it in Mauville Hills, but we have to do what we're asked to do in New Mauville before we can get it. Spoiler alert, what we're going to be getting at the end of this is going to be the TM for Thunderbolt. So, I mean, one of the best electric moves in the game, you kind of want to get this TM, especially considering the final gym is a water gym. So if you really want to have a little bit of an easier time, I mean, there's that. I guess it's not entirely necessary for OmegaRuby. For those of you who do not already basically know this, Primal Groudon's like desolate land, it prevents things like water moves and like other various moves for its weaknesses. It kind of prevents its weaknesses from ever kind of connecting, I guess is a okay way to word that. I don't know. So New Mauville, there's a lot of electric types in here, namely Voltorbs and Magnemites. I think you can even find Magneton in here as well. And as I'm sure you've already guessed, there's definitely Pokeballs on the ground. Some of these are items, some of them are Voltorbs. So, also our first Primal Evolution on our side rather than being on the opposite side of it. So, the thing I don't like about leading a Primal Pokemon is, that, like, especially whenever it comes to just, like, playing through the story or whatever, the animation's kind of long. So, I mean, I'm probably not going to ever really lead Groudon unless I feel like I absolutely have to. We will probably be leading Groudon against the final gym. It'd be nice if I could somehow get to level 60 before. Actually, I don't think it gets Eruption. I was wrong about Eruption's level earlier, my bad. Eruption in OmegaRuby and AlphaSapphire is level 90. I was thinking of our last move that we'll be getting for it, which is going to be Solar Beam. Solar Beam is something that it gets at level 60. It doesn't get it any earlier in X and Y. In fact, it gets it at, I think, around level 90. I think they kind of switched places a little bit with some of the moves. I don't know. It's just weird that, you know, level 60 is where, what's it called, is, and like, okay, level 90 in X and Y is Solar Beam, and then level 90 in this game is Eruption. So, I don't know. But regardless, Solar Beam is going to be our final move. If you couldn't already tell what our next move actually is going to be, it's going to be Thunderbolt. Because, I mean, we do have a timid nature. If nothing else, I think we do have indefinitely perfect speed IVs, I would assume, considering alert to sounds means high speed IVs. So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't bother to really check the IVs or anything, and it is EV trained, so, I mean, kind of made sure to do that just because I didn't want to have to, you know, go oops and forgot about it and then have to play through the, you know, this episode and then be like, well, crap, now I have to work on getting a reset bag and then retraining it EV wise anyways. So, I mean, but as you can probably tell by what I said before, a long animation for Primal Reversion. So, yeah. So there's something I want to kind of talk about. I kind of just feel like I need to kind of talk about this. I don't know how many people were aware of this, but it is possible to gen Pokemon directly into your game without using any programs, really, outside of course, like, you know, the actual PokeGen program itself. You don't have to do anything crazy to just, you know, okay, in a way it is crazy, but in a way it's not retarded in the sense of like how you actually put the Pokemon into your save file. You don't have to you don't have to extract your save file somehow to do it. At least the individual Pokemon. There are various tutorials about it. Mootypwns has it on her channel. I don't know if she has a new one on her channel or not. I know Mauville 1, I think, or something like that. I can't remember his name. Just look into Mauville. I'm sure you'll find him. He did a tutorial on how to gen an entire box of Pokemon onto your game. And this is the one that I kind of want to talk about, considering it's the more, you know, recent version of importing external Pokemon, I guess. So you can't do this on the new Nintendo 3DS. So just kind of putting it out there, you have to have a 3DS that has a 9.x update on it, which means like anywhere between like whatever, or it has to be no higher than 9.4. Just kind of putting that out there. So if you want to be able to continue doing this, do not update your you know, because if you do, then you're kind of just screwed out of doing this until they either further update this or, you know. So the way it works, I'm just gonna kind of put this. There's a few things that you can get when you download this. There are two things you get. You get the PC in and the PC out. These things are required to be put on your SD card, so that way you can extract your PC data as well as insert PC data. So the way it works is once you have those on your SD card, of course, I'm just gonna read off the how to use thing here. By the way, I'm sure you guys saw this in New Mauville. Some of the areas are kind of touchy. It's like very narrow. The same can apply to the soaring thing. As you can kind of see, we're a little bit near New Mauville, or not New Mauville, but Mauville City, and like as you can see, I kind of like go back towards Mauville, and it doesn't like give me the thing for whatever reason. So like as you can see, it's like right there, and it's like, oh, whatever. So just saying, it's kind of, some of it can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes you just have to kind of like move around. It's free moving, so you just kind of have to deal with it. Anyways, back to the like PC editing thing. I'm just gonna read off the how to use thing. So the first thing you need to do is copy the PCIn.bin and the PCOut.bin files onto your 9.x 3DS. It says no emu and or emu NAND. No new Nintendo 3DS, the one with the C stick. You need to put them on your SD card. Okay, that's the very root of your SD card, not in like the 3DS folder or the DCIM folder. It literally has to be at the root. The second thing you need to do is run your X, Y, OmegaRuby, or AlphaSapphire and get into the game. Once you are in game, you want to hit the home button or go to the home menu and go into your internet browser. Once there, you want to go to http blah 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 bit.ly/1y capital R capital U lowercase u L and then uppercase B to run the PCOut.bin. So you wait for your internet browser to crash and then take you back to the home menu. Once that happens, you power down the 3DS and take out your SD card and put it into your PC. So you kind of do need to have a form of reading SD cards. That's like one of the main things you really need. It's pretty much the only thing you need, outside of PK hex, of course. So once you have your SD card in the computer, open the pcdata.bin in PK hex, because obviously, you're gonna have. I think that generates it, because once you extract it, it gives you the PC data bin in your actual SD card. So you open it in PK hex. You go to, once you're in PK hex, you go to Tool and toggle the box interface. So once you do this and you've opened up your PC data and all that, you'll see everything that you have on your game. Literally everything, every box, everything. You can edit your boxes, etc. So as they say, edit to your desire. So once you're done doing that, you export pcdata.bin with the save data box ++ under the Tools tab in PK hex. And they don't mean at the very top. I think there's like a separate tools thing in the actual program that, like, the next to the file stuff. So you run your game. I did, for whatever reason, didn't mention like actually put in, I'm assuming that by export they also mean like overwriting it on your actual SD card, kind of like, saving over it. So once all that's done, obviously you have to take your SD card out of your computer, put it back in your DS. Then you need to do like they did before, run your game X, Y, OmegaRuby, or AlphaSapphire and make sure that you're completely in game. Go back to the home menu and go back into your browser. Now there's a second link that they give you. Remember the bit.ly thing? Do the same thing, but /1 capital J lowercase p lowercase c lowercase y capital G and capital T to run the pcin.bin file from your SD card. You wait for your crash and then go back to the home menu, of course. Or, well, you wait for it to crash and take you back to the home menu. Then you check your PC and your edits should all be there. So if you wanted to gen an entire box of Pokemon, there's how you would do it. I'll leave a link to this in the description for people that actually, want to actually do that. I might actually do a tutorial if people actually want me to, but I don't see a real need to do that. I might just leave a link to maybe Mauville's video or something, and you guys can check it out yourself. Considering we're very low on time, and obviously there's a battle here, obviously we're going to take care of the battle. We'll be doing that in the next episode. We'll also be continuing through Mauville Hills, and then we're probably going to get started on a place called Mauville in the next episode, which is going to require me to change up my moves a bit and probably even get Linoon back out of the PC. So Groudon will probably have to temporarily go back into the PC for a very short amount of time, I would say. So yeah, be sure to stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is the PokeGamer signing out.